Welcome back to another video of Cricket Thrills. Gary Cozier is a former Australian international cricketer who played in 18 test matches and 9 one-day internationals between 1975 till 1979. Gary Cosier's stars shone very briefly following a sensational debut when he became only the 9th Australian batsman to post a century in his first test match. He had two major highlights at test level: 100 on his test debut at Melbourne against the West Indies in 1975-76 and 168 against Pakistan in the following season. The red-haired, stocky and popular Gary Cozier was an aggressive middle-order batsman who sometimes attacked when a more defensive approach was called for. After scoring a century on debut, Cozier later recalled, "I remember going out to bat at 5 p.m. and Andy Roberts had just taken the second new ball. I had a really close LBW decision when I had scored about 5 runs. I knew I would hit it up, but I did not know why the umpire. Perhaps he knew better then. But thankfully he gave me not out. I went into lunch the next day at 99 not out, and I was so happy to get a century with my parents and friends were watching." Let's watch Gary Cozier test debut 100.
And down through the second slip, that's the gap where a third slip would be. It may or may not have carried to a third slip position, but it wasn't all that good a shot. But Cozier gets 4. Cozier to 48, 4 for 274. And a run here. Fredericks to field, so Cozier to 49. And off the edge and runs down to that long boundary. The ball may stop just inside the fence. A chase there for Greenwich. They've taken 2, and they'll come back for 3. And that's the end of the first over. Plenty of action in the first over of the day's play. Holder, none for 67, and 8 runs scored off the first 8 balls.
And that was interesting. There is a little bit of movement off the wicket out there, and perhaps when the West Indies will be more troublesome than he proved in the first innings, I think.
This time a single. They're taking a run now. That may be a leg by. We'll wait and see what happens. Now let's see what the umpire does. Now off the bat, that's his 50.
Yes, it's a...
Back past the bowler, good shot. Beautifully hit. They've taken 2. Let's see if Cozier wants 3. Yes, they're going for the third. Cozier to 53, Greg Chappell 47, 4 for 284. And that's cracked square. The 2 here, Rowe is after it. And they're going for a third on the throw. And well run by Greg Chappell. Oh, hit well. Beautiful shot. He gave that everything. That's as good a shot as we've seen in this match.
There's no question about that, and you could see the pace with which the ball slammed into the boundary. That was a superb shot off the back foot. We'll have a look at the replay of that one. It was a beautiful shot. He was up on his toes, back towards the off stump, and clubbed it away between Van Benholder at mid-off and Lawrence Rowe at point. No chance of any fieldsman stopping that. It was a perfectly played shot.
Cozier 63, Greg Chappell 50, 4 for 297. As a result of that shot, a change over in the field, an extra man in the covers. And kept down, just a fraction lucky perhaps. The ball from that position, he had to hold his bat up very high, just carried wide of the third slip. So Cozier is 64, Greg Chappell 50. And that one's wide, and the fieldsman a chase for Gibbs. They'll get a couple here. Coming back for the second. And and they're comfortable too. Marsh not looking for the third. Well, he's hit that one beautifully. Magnificent shot. Square drive. Well, that was as good as his back foot cover drive.
Yes, you can hear the crowd's appreciation of that shot. It was a cracking shot, wasn't it? Away behind point, but he gave it everything he's got. Doesn't have much of a back left. Not much of a back lift at all, as you'll see. Off the back foot, but he really puts his whole weight behind.
Oh, glorious shot. Beautiful shot. Being chased by Richards. Batsman coming back for two, but it'll beat him into the fence for four. Magnificent shot.
Well, here's a change in the attack. Here's the 1 wicket to his name. That of Ian Chappell, who was caught at slip trying to cut the off spinner.
Cozier, the batsman. That ball would have hit him on the pad. And a very tidy over indeed by Lance Gibbs. A maiden, 18 overs, 7 maidens, 1 for 38.
A strange use of Andy Roberts this morning by Clive Lloyd and Burke. It seems...
Now, can Cozier score his 100 in this over? Slight misunderstanding, but quite safe. In fact, Marsh looking for the second, but that would be suicidal. 5 for 372.
Cozier attempting to turn this ball away on the leg side. Finds the ball moving slightly away from him, and he's hit on the thigh.
Gibbs to Cozier. .99. Lloyd the fieldsman at mid-off. With Cozier on 99. 2 balls remaining. Marsh 34 and a total 5 for 375. Gibbs calling up Holder from deep backward square to a shorter position. Richards moving in very fast there for mid-wicket. 1 ball remaining for lunch. Cozier not out 99 at lunch. Marsh not out 34. 28 extras. Australia at lunch 5 for 375.
He's taking a good look around the field, looking where the singles are so that he can place the ball when it comes.
And that shot took us back to Arthur Chipperfield, who was out for 99 in 1934 after he was 99 at lunch.
As the ball just cut away a little bit off the pitch, it was perhaps too full a length to play back to. He was looking to steer it away through the point area where we've seen him score so many runs this morning. But the ball, fortunately for him, eluded the outside edge.
Yes, they're going. Century in his first test match to Gary Cozier. 233 minutes, 12 fours.
And what a fantastic moment this must be for the young fellow. You can see the West Indian batsman appreciating the fact that this must be a marvellous moment for Gary Cozier, and Clive Lloyd was one of the first to come up and warmly congratulate Gary Cozier. Magnificent hand, not without blemish, but still a chance hasn't been put down, and he deserves all the luck he can get.
And a confident shot now. That's a celebration shot out towards the boundary it goes. They've taken 2. Let's see, they might set off for 3. Yes, they're going for the 3rd. And Holder seeing they'll comfortably make 3, not worrying about the return back.
At test levels, test bowlers were quick to exploit his technical deficiencies, in particular a very short backlift and abbreviated footwork. Cozier was all brute force with little finesse, but he did not try to modify his technique somewhat during the 1978-79 Ashes series, when he was used as an opening batsman. He could back his batting with slow medium pacer that swung alarming when the conditions favored him. On the 1977 tour of England, he showed in an ODI match at Edgbaston, where he snared 5 for 18. Gary Cozier bowling was not really used in test, and his first test wicket did not come until his 13th match. He was also an excellent closing fielder and secure slip fielder. Gary Cozier struggled with his weight throughout his career, in particular due to his back trouble, a permanent condition since birth. A vertebra is out of alignment. "I can't do any heavy physical work at all," he said in February 1977. "I can't run or do gym work." Cozier had an excellent season with the bat in 1975-76. He leaped into test consideration with 130 for South Australia against the touring West Indies side. He followed up with 76 against New South Wales and a match-winning 49 against Queensland. He was named in a 13-person Australian squad to play a one-day international against the West Indies. Cozier pressed his claim with 71 and 49 against Victoria, although he injured his hamstring in the second innings and had to bat with a runner. Cozier made his international debut for Australia against the West Indies in a one-day game. He took 1 for 33 and scored 25 not out, helping Australia to a 5-wicket victory. He was duly selected in the test team for the 3rd test, replacing Terry Jenner. Cozier celebrated this by promptly scoring another century for South Australia against the West Indies. In an incident, Cozier was taken to hospital after crashing into a boundary and knocking his head while fielding during South Australians Gillette Cup semi-final loss to Queensland. He managed to recover and scored 94 and took 4 for 95 in a state game against Victoria. Against the West Indies for Australia in the 5th test, he then scored 37 in the first innings. He injured his back during the game and did not bat in the second innings and was ruled out of the 6th test. Rick McCosker took his place. He recovered to help South Australian win the Sheffield that year. Gary Cozier made a slow start to the 1976-77 summer